Welcome everyone, this is the 31 Days of Dread, and I am your host, Peter A. DeLuca, aka PAD, and this is where we do one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. That's 30, if you can't count, that's 31 movies celebrating the greatest genre of them all, the greatest experimentational platform of them all, the greatest young filmmaker discoverer of them all. It is horror, 31 days coming at you. Look out, ghouls and ghosts, it gets spooky. Alright everyone, coming out of that intro hot, this is what I call the telethon portion of the podcast. This is where I pitch myself to you for your support. Your support means everything to me because we're fighting, the AKAPAD army is fighting against algorithms everywhere. Algorithms, I ate some cereal earlier today, I dumped it into my bowl and it was full of algorithms. Okay, bad joke. Alright. Sharing this podcast, telling your friends about it, leaving comments, leaving reviews. This is how we grow AKAPAD's audio audacity. Your support there is more valuable than anything other than like a high five in person, because I'd love a high five in person. AKAPADers, did you know that Freddy Krueger had a child? It's Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, with maybe the best marketing gimmick of all of these movies. And I'm speaking, I should have looked it up. I'm just talking off the tip of my brain. And I so want this to be real. And I don't want this to be a false memory. By the way, thanks for joining me. Peter A. DeLuca here. I love you so much. I have this memory of a carriage, and I know the carriage is in this movie. So there's like a demon carriage, like a stroller, a demon stroller, like old school looking demon stroller. And Freddy was like, I remember seeing this at the video store. It was like Freddy Krueger. It was like a life size stand up, and it was just like a full like 1-to-1 scale, and the thing was huge, and that was the promotion for the Dream Child. They were actively putting the idea of Freddy Krueger having some sort of child in your face for the 5th installment, and you kind of look back and you consider the reputation that sequels got, mostly through Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. You really can't put Halloween into the mix of it, even though Halloween now, I guess maybe because the rights have been able to carry over from company to company pretty well. I also believe like we would have gotten way more Terminator movies if the rights were able to like roll over and be retained and traded the way that Halloween has, because Halloween really has had, of all of these movies, Halloween has had the most consistent, like, releasing, runs, reboots, very much like Chucky and Halloween, or Child's Play and Halloween, have become the staple. And Nightmare and Friday somewhat completely disappeared. You really can make the argument they completely disappeared after, like, late 90s. And the reputation that sequels have gotten, and I really feel like this movie is a 0.0 for sequels going too far, losing their core, losing their essence, forgetting who they are, not doing enough fan service or complimenting the people that supported the franchise, and doing enough to lure in people who are curious about it. So here's the thing. There's very little templates for this. There's very little playbooks. We are so spoiled now with even sequels and trilogies because we've seen how sequels can just spiral out of control with this and Friday. We've seen how sequels and trilogies can fail and disappoint with The Matrix and Pirates of the Caribbean, even The Dark Knight, because it's so tough for me to watch Dark Knight Rises, even though I feel like it has truly relevant points nowadays, and it's very curious to watch that movie. I do enjoy a lot of Dark Knight Rises. I just don't believe it wraps up well at all. I mean, you cannot fix that ending in any way. No perspective can do it. And so we see kind of like moving into the age of like Harry Potter, Hunger Games, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's a baseline understanding. There is a like procurement almost of how to do these rollouts, what to do once you have a hit, how to deliver to the audience coming, and how to pull in the new people. Because the new people will come. If one movie's successful, the people will act as your advocate. They will do your marketing. They will do your advertising. So we go into the Dream Child stemming from the third movie, Dream Warriors. So we have 3, 4, and 5. This is the end of this trilogy. This is essentially what I call the Alice trilogy, who is amazingly Lisa Wilcox or Cox. Lisa Cox or Wilcox. Completely beautiful in these movies. Blonde hair, blue eyes, girl next door, right? She becomes a psychic companion to Freddy Krueger. Now, some of this is there, some of it's like understated, but it's just a position to view what is happening with her in this movie. And then here's what happens. We no longer have a movie where we're trying to stop Freddy, we're trying to save our lives. We just have a movie where we have kids, no one believes Freddy exists. Freddy's just going to kill you in amazing, over-the-top ways. There's a dive board scene, like a like one of the characters, Alice's like best friend. She's in a Olympic pool, high diving just for practice in the complete dark in the middle of the night. And like that's a good death. We have the Phantom Stalker or the Phantom Prowler. And he is a comic book character. Like this dude, multicolored hair dude, skinnier than a bag of sticks. He becomes his comic book character to fight Freddy in his dream sequence. Freddy becomes Super Freddy, like takes him out. Very memorable, very Aha. If you guys remember the Aha music video, but these are very memorable images. This is a part of these like nightmare tropes where the deaths from 3, 4, and 5 all meld together. The friends dying, like who dies where and what movie, it all meshes together, and it takes a lot of viewings to even just mentally sort it out. Which I do encourage, because 3, 4, and 5 is a legit arc. And then we have the death of Danny, the boyfriend, motorcycle death. Very cool. He just basically gets taken over and just drives right into a Mack truck. And it's a little bit of a gotcha because the truck driver is dressed as Freddy. And then there's a new element. The new element is that Freddy pulls you in, pulls you out. He's more touring with you. He's more powerful. He has more souls. It's a little bit different in the, like, if we go back to the first movie and the third movie, where as long as you wake up, you're okay. And in this movie, we do have the developing sense that Freddy will just kill you no matter what. You can overpower him in your dreams. Within your dreams, you can say you're not real Freddy. You can confront Freddy, and you're like, you're still going to die. So it's inevitable. And I believe he has that. I'm pretty sure he has that line in this movie. Like, Freddy had it first. Freddy had that line way before Thanos. And then, like, is the fitness girl in this movie? Like, even now, just like going through these movies, there's a girl that gets stuffed to death that explodes. and there's the girl who is on the weight bench that is afraid of cockroaches, and Freddy breaks her arms off and crushes her in the Roach Motel with one of the best gotcha lines, which is you can check in, but you can't check out, and he just crushes the Roach Motel. Amazing stuff. Okay, and again, this is the idea of having overlapping characters, overlapping power sets, overlapping themes. So essentially, the dream child is Lisa is impregnated, okay, and Freddy is living in the dreams of the kid that is dreaming in her womb. And holy shit, is this a big idea? This is the single best idea outside of the first movie. There's so much credit to be given for this idea. What we have along the way, we have an exploration on Lisa's growing power sets, and then we have a redefinition of how Freddy works. And it's all fun, it's all interesting, it's not too scary, but it is gory because we're still dealing with horror. Again, endless special effects. There is a true one-upsmanship with these special effects. Every single preceding movie has the best effects. I believe this movie too has a Escher sequence. But no, Dream Child is dismissed, and it should be held up from the balls of the concept and how accurately our writers, right? Like, let me look up who wrote this fucking movie. Leslie Bohem. Story by Leslie Bohem, Greg Spector, John Skip. I believe John Skip, two of these guys. Also directed by Stephen Hopkins. We know him from Blowout, not the John Travolta Blowout, the Jeff Bridges Blowout, right? Jeff Bridges, Tommy Lee Jones, and come on, Stephen Hopkins, Predator 2, and I believe Lost in Space. We got Lost in Space. So Stephen Hopkins completely, also like I believe an artist of his own. I believe at one time he was billed as a comic book artist. I gotta confirm that. Everyone, wow, we're getting a really big thunderstorm rolling in here in Philadelphia. Good timing. All right, everyone, let's wrap this up. It's time to talk Freddy's Dead. And to continue this telethon, we're not talking about high fives. There's other ways to support me. I'm a living professional. I'm a full-time freelancer. Anything you see on this, like here on this podcast, or see my social media, I make everything. It's all made by me. That's a part of my pitch to you. And you can purchase professional services through AKAPAD.com. That's a pipeline to me if you want to send me a message. But also while you're there, you can sign up for my newsletter. You're going to get deals. You're going to get coupons. You're going to get 2 free trading cards mailed to you free worldwide. And they're 2 Wolfpack trading cards, 2 original characters, for upcoming comic book work. And speaking of comic books, you can go to Etsy, type in Uzi Susie, and that's where you're going to find my mini comic. You can purchase existing issues and pre-order upcoming issues along with bundles if you missed any, like issue 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. There, Uzi Susie is waiting for you. And keep an eye on Indiegogo. A lot of my bigger comic book projects will be available through Indiegogo. All of those updates will be here on this podcast, so if you're a regular listener, I'll let you know. We can rock and roll from there. So everyone, thank you so much, and feel free to reach out to me on social media, AKAPad69, Instagram, and Xbox. That's right, you can play Halo with me. Just straight up AKAPad on Twitter, straight up AKAPad on the Facebook. My business page is there. My personal page is there. Hey, be a personal friend of mine. I don't care. Let's talk movies. Let's talk creativity. Let's talk fun, and just who cares? Do you like, the Transformer movies? I love them. We can talk about that all night. So meet me there and we'll rock and roll. Let's get talking. We got a movie to discuss.